Welcome to the Practically Imperfect podcast. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Orson.
Orson, how was your week?
Yeah, my week was good. Thanks for asking.
What was some highlights, some lows?
So let's see. Something crazy that happened was I wake up and I go to the gym before everyone else wakes up. And so it's dark.
Okay, wait a second. I'm cutting you off because you didn't set the scene. You just said, okay, I woke up. Like, okay, what day was it? What time did you wake up? Like, you got to tell the story.
Oh my goodness. I was trying to tell it in my own way, but all right. Let me try again. So, I don't know what day was it. Was it Thursday morning?
Yeah.
So, it was Thursday morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock.
As you do.
As I do. And I went into the bathroom so I could get myself ready, brush my teeth, splash cold water in my face to wake myself up. And I was like, man, it smells like farts in here. I was like, why does this smell so awful? And
so gross.
And I was going through my routine and I just kept thinking to myself, like, what did Stella like poop or was she just been farting a lot? Because I didn't see any poop.
Stella is our dog.
Yeah,
and she sleeps in our bathroom.
In our bathroom / closet. Like, it's a combination, so it's the closet and the bathroom one space. And so she'll sleep in the shower. And she's actually pooped a lot in the shower before during the night.
She has done that, but not a lot.
Not a lot.
Maybe
but like,
twice.
She's done that. No, she's pooped in the shower once.
Oh,
but I'm saying
once.
a lot because when she did poop in there, it was a lot of poop.
Oh.
Anyway, so I was still thinking, like, man, did Stella poop somewhere? And I was kind of looking around the closet and wasn't seeing anything. And then I checked one more time before I left. And then, yeah, there was a little bit of poop on the floor. And I was like, that's what I'm
there
smelling.
was?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was just...
In the closet?
Yeah, I was in the closet. So luckily there was a poop bag in the bathroom. And so I was able to pick that up. And Stella was looking at me like she was all guilty and just like, I'm sorry, got a vibe. And she kept like sitting down weird. And I was like, shoot, So the only reason that there was a little bit of poop but not a lot was because she's also on her period, or she's in heat right now.
Yep. Rip us.
And she's wearing a diaper. And so she pooped in her diaper. Which is like, you think like that's pretty sad.
That is so sad. I don't even know how or why she did that, because that is so not like her.
It really isn't. Yeah,
I mean,
she rarely has accidents anymore, and yeah, she even went poop right before going to bed. I took her outside.
So confused.
Yeah, so
you just threw that diaper away, thank goodness.
Yeah, but anyways, I was like, okay, I am getting up to go to the gym. I do not want to deal with this right now. I don't want to like clean her up and all that sort of. It's going to be another 30 minutes or so before I can leave.
Are you sure you want to admit this on the podcast? People are going to tell us that we're horrible dog owners and we're abusing her.
Well, we're not abusing her because we treat her. She's very spoiled, first of all. But here's the thing. It was like 5:15 in the morning at this point. I was in the mindset of like, I gotta go to the gym. I got to get my day going. Scarlett's going to wake up soon. I got to get back before that.
Yeah, and Thursdays, we only have one car as well. And Thursdays are days that I go into work. So Orson had to be back by like 7-ish.
Yeah.
So he had to get out the door.
Yeah, so I brought her downstairs and I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just going to deal with you later. So I put her... I put her in her kennel, poop diaper and all.
I cannot believe you did that.
Yeah, it is.
You left her in her poop.
I mean, she'd already been in there like that for a while.
Maybe.
Anyways, I mean, it's sad. Like, yeah, that's not good of me to do. I shouldn't have done that. I agree with you. But I just, at that moment of time, I just couldn't do it right then. I was like... Because if I only have a small window.
How could she get down the stairs? Like, was it a lot of poop? I don't know.
Well, let me just tell this. Let me keep going. Okay. And I'll get there.
I thought you were ending it.
Oh, now I was losing my train of thought because you interrupted me.
Sorry.
Like you do.
Sorry.
Yeah. Shade. All shade. So anyway, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. In that moment of time, I was just like, I'm just gonna deal with you later because I only have a small window to be able to go to the gym on the days where I stay home with Scarlett. And so I was like, this is what's important to me right now. And
The gym?
The gym. So I went, came back, and took her out. And when I took off the diaper, there was a lot in there. Like, it just, like, plopped on the floor. And I was like, oh, man. Luckily, I was doing that outside. But either way, I had to pick it all up, throw the diaper away, and then I took her outside to the backyard, grabbed the hose, and, like, hosed off her butt.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no poop or anything on it. Got her all cleaned up, dried off, put a different diaper back on. And the other diaper was the one that she chewed up a little bit, so I had to, like, duct tape it to her.
We got new diapers, people.
We did get new diapers. We did. Anyway, it didn't ruin my day or ruin my morning or anything like that. It was just kind of like it was like an experience where you go, man, I guess that's just what it's like owning a dog.
Yeah. So, 2 years in, we got her. 2 years into our marriage, I think, is what it was.
2 or 3.
Yeah. And I think it was
3 years.
I didn't really want a dog that much. Like, I guess I kind of did just because I thought golden doodles were cute, and that's what Stella is. But Orson, like, really wanted a dog. He wanted a dog before we had kids. That was, like, his thing. And so I don't really take care of her. I don't really deal with her. Oops, sorry. That's Orson's job. So I felt bad for you, for sure. Because I don't have to deal with any of that. When she's on her period, though, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Just move your hands underneath the mic.
Sorry. When she's on her period is when I kind of have to deal with her, and I freaking hate that. But having to, like, neuter her or get her spayed would be $600 because of her weight. And I just don't want to deal with that either. So I was like, all right, we can just deal with a couple of periods here and there, and whenever we feel like we want to spend $600 on that, we will. But because when Orson's at home or when Orson's at work and I stay home with the baby, she obviously has to go outside to go to the bathroom. So I have to take off her bloody diaper, have her go pee, put it back on. It's just too much.
You sound like such a brat. Like, she's just a dog. Like,
it's just not my thing.
You will not do it, but it doesn't matter if it's your thing. Like, you own her. Just do the responsibility. Like, you own her with me. When I'm not here to take care of the responsibilities, man up and just, like, do it.
Excuse me, sir. Did I not say before we got a dog, I'm not dealing with that?
And you never do, except when I am not here.
Was that a surprise?
How often do you deal with her?
Never.
Exactly.
There was one time, there's been a couple of times actually where you've gone out of town before for filming weddings up north, and I have to watch her for like 2 days. Those are the worst days of my life. Ask my friends. I always FaceTime them like, I freaking hate this. I don't like taking care of Stella. Next time you're out of town, I'm taking her to a doggy hotel because I just can't.
She's just a dog.
I know.
Like, she's not she's
my
a
thing.
good dog too.
I know, she's actually a really good dog.
Like, for some reason you just are scared of her, or you're just like
I just
annoyed.
don't want to deal with her.
Like, you get so stressed. Like, you called me today, for example, and you had to you had to take her outside to go potty.
Yes.
In the morning, and you had to take off her diaper.
And we hadn't done it for a while, by the way. We're in September. Her last heat was in December. Yeah, so it's been a minute.
Right. And so you're doing this, and normally we'd take her out bad. But if you watch the last episode or listen to it, you'll remember that we had like this weird bug thing.
We didn't say that on last episode because it happened Friday night. Like, it would happen after we recorded the podcast. We're gonna have to catch them up on that story as well.
Okay, well we'll catch you up on that part. But we had this weird bug thing, so we found a little gap in our back door where bugs were coming in. Mm-hmm. So we put some stuff in there and taped the door basically shut, just to kind of cover that gap. I mean, we sprayed some bug killer in the back too. So I mean, was that
safe.
Was that fix necessary? I mean, probably not. The bug spray did it, but nonetheless, I didn't want to open the back door and have to deal with the tape door. Mm-hmm. So we've been taking her out front, mm-hmm. and so you're taking off her diaper and you're like calling me, and you're like about to like cry, it sounds like, and like you're just getting
I wasn't
so
gonna cry.
but you're like, oh my gosh, I freaking hate this, like this is literally the worst thing ever, and you're just like complaining about it, and I'm just like, just let her go potty out front. And you were like so scared because I guess there was another dog coming up, and whenever she's in heat, you get really stressed.
If Stella were to get pregnant, that would be the worst. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about dealing with that. So, yes, when she's in heat, I don't want her out of the house at all. But Orson, she's a very active dog, and Orson is really active with her. So he still will take her out with her diaper on. Obviously, he has to take the diaper off sometimes for her to go to the bathroom and stuff. But anyway, so for some reason, I should have just said screw it. And I think I did say screw it after that because it scared me too much. And I took her out in the backyard.
So you messed up the tape?
Yeah, I did. Well, I put it back together. So I took her out front, and there was another dog coming. I didn't know if it was a boy dog, because boy dogs, if they're not neutered, go crazy for girl dogs who are in heat and could get her pregnant, and that would be the worst day of my life. That would be so awful. So yes, I was freaking out because she didn't have her diaper on because she had to go to the bathroom in the front yard, and there was another dog coming, and I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
I could not handle it.
And that's where it comes into play, to where I'm saying, just man up and be the adult and take care and be demanding and just be assertive to this dog. Like, she is just a dog.
No thanks.
You are the owner.
I do when I have to. It's the period stuff where I have to deal with it.
I know, but still, even when you have to deal with it, you still complain about it.
I'm getting stressed out talking about it.
You can clearly tell by us talking about this. This is like a point of annoyance, or not annoyance, might not be the right word, but definitely a conversation topic where it's like a little bit heated, but not really heated. That's still kind of dramatic.
You know what's really morbid, an intrusive thought? I've thought about, like, oh my gosh, if Orson dies, what am I going to do with Stella?
I've thought about that for you too.
You have?
Yeah, I was like, I would be sad because I think you would probably just give her away.
I don't think I would, because Scarlett, our baby, is obsessed with Stella. She loves her so much, and Stella loves Scarlett. So their relationship is really cute. I would just hate my life.
See, but if I were to,
I would suck it up.
I don't like talking about me passing away, but if something were to happen to where it was just you, Stella, and the baby,
yeah,
like, imagining you, I can also see a scenario where you don't want to give her away because she reminds you of me so much, because I was the one that took care of her, and she had the great relationship with me.
Yeah.
And she, like, you would want that energy around, I feel like.
Yeah.
But then again, I've also heard a lot of stories when the pack leader dies, and I feel like in her
you.
And in her head, I would be the pack leader. And I've heard that sometimes dogs can also just go crazy. And if you don't step up and be the leader in the scenario,
oh my gosh,
then Stella's gonna be like, okay, I have to step up. There's no pack leader here, and then she's gonna take control, rebellious and be crazy. And
no, okay, don't die. So drive safe.
Oh my goodness,
that would be crazy. Okay, let's not talk about Stella anymore. I can't. She's right outside the door too.
She's probably
sleeping. Okay,
Stella, so she's a great dog, bottom line.
Sure, yeah, she is.
Okay, we can end it right there.
So we have to also catch you up on our bug situation as well. This week has been so insane with, yes, Stella starting her period, pooping in the diaper. There's another crazy thing that happened. So right after we recorded this podcast last week, we went downstairs and we watched Inside Out 2. Great movie, by the way. 10 out of 10. We loved it. So, and we record this podcast late. We didn't, let's see, the movie ended and we were about to go to sleep. It was like 12:30, so it was late. So I go to the kitchen. I just go over there, and I noticed that there was a bug, which isn't not normal. Like, we just kill the bugs. Like I mean, there's a bug in your house, whatever. You don't really think twice. It was like a baby cockroach. It was tiny, wasn't a big deal. Smushed it, was about to throw it in the trash. And then along my way to the trash, I saw the exact same type of bug. Smushed it again. I saw 4 of the same baby cockroaches just on my way to the trash. So I was like, what the frick? And then I turned on all the lights because you can see them better and they like kind of go towards the light. So I turned on all the lights. I kept finding more. I killed probably like 15 baby cockroaches. Then Orson started to get up and being like, what the heck is going on? And I was like, there must be a mom who had hundreds of babies in here. I was so confused. And there was a bunch by our back door. So we were just killing them. And this, again, was at 12:30 in the morning. We were so tired. So, anyway.
Definitely woke me up, though.
Yeah. So, anyway, we had to kill a bunch. But I think we got them all. Like, we were down there for a while. And I was like, all right, I think we looked everywhere for any more. And then Orson opened the back door. And what did you see?
So when I opened the back door before I sprayed, I didn't really see a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
They were definitely kind of hidden.
Oh.
But when we figured out that there was nothing really else inside,
yeah,
then we have like this old bug spray that I got from one of my old jobs. The office used to be a pest control sales company, and so they had this big like bottle of bug killer that the professional guys that come spray your homes would normally use. And so we had one of these big bottles, and we haven't really used it or anything. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get some of that. We had a Windex bottle, and like that, an empty Windex bottle. So I poured the solution in the empty Windex bottle, took it outside, and just started spraying all along the edges of the house. And like I laid it on thick too.
Good.
And I was like, these bugs are gonna die. They're freaking nasty.
And so after that, we felt peace. We finally went to sleep. Ugh, so late. And then when we opened the door the next morning, it looked like a massacre. There was so many baby cockroaches that were just dead outside of our back door. Not so much the front door. The back door was covered.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
And then when Orson was spraying them off with our hose and the back door was closed, some water got through. So that's when we realized, okay, there's like a little entryway for bugs to get to our back door. Like it's not completely sealed all the way. Oh my gosh.
So that's why we put
another thing. So then we just shoved paper towels and tape. Because that's how we deal with things around here.
Ghetto disaster.
Literally, okay, no one really talks. Well, okay, people do talk about this, but probably not enough. Everyone wants to own a home because that's a really amazing accomplishment. And me and Orson bought this house. I was 21, I think, and you were 22. Does that sound about right? And you just don't realize what kind of stuff comes up that you have to deal with. And we don't do them. I remember our light bulb in the shower was out for
it's like 6 months, I feel
at least 6 months. So we were just showering in the dark for 6 months just because we just don't want to go to Home Depot and deal with that. Our kitchen
currently
is so dark because so many bulbs are out, and we're just like, meh, like we just don't
we've gone to Home Depot like multiple times. Like we painted this wall. These lights were out, and we still didn't get Home Depot. Like
you just don't think of it when you're there. It's just when you go and turn on the light, you're like, freaking so dark in here.
Gotta buy those freaking light bulbs.
Yes.
And Scarlett's starting to play with like the outlets.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And so we're like, oh, we need to buy outlet covers, and we always forget like those important
I know
things.
Tomorrow's
but, like,
Saturday.
things.
Maybe we should just do it because light bulbs aren't expensive. I'm sure those. Yeah. So we just covered them with tape. Tape fixes everything.
It does. It does. In these scenarios, it does.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to catch them up on. I don't think so.
You want a sip of the rain?
# not spawns, but I wish it was. Yeah, I'm also very tired today, you guys. I did the night shift last night.
It's my turn tonight.
Thank goodness. If I had to do the night shift tonight, I don't think I would be. I think I'd be in even a worse mood than I am today or right this second. Normally I do the night shifts on Fridays because Orson, you know, he's just an early bird. He goes to the gym in the mornings and I just don't do anything. I just sleep. But no, I needed a break. So cheers to this energy drink. I freaking hate energy drinks too. They make me.
Every time I buy them, though,
so,
you start like you want to try every single one I get.
I want a sip just because I want to be fun and have an energy drink with you. But I don't understand how people can finish these. They're just so fizzy.
Colton and Raylan got us onto those ones. Shout out to you guys. The white gummy bear, that's the flavor.
I just do not like it.
I mean,
I think it's working.
These ones are. So I don't really ever drink these. The only time I will ever drink these is if like I'm doing an all nighter for work, or I'm driving through the night. Mm-hmm. And these ones I used to do the white monsters like so many other people, but these ones have definitely turned into my favorite ones. And like they're intense. They have 300 milligrams of caffeine in them. Like, do you realize how much that is?
That sounds like a lot, though.
No, that is a ton.
Wow.
That is a ton. So these will
F you up.
Not F you up, but they'll definitely like make you stay awake.
Okay, well, that's what we get them for.
So there's that if you want it.
I also need to address an elephant in the room.
I don't see an elephant anywhere.
My hair.
Oh.
So the past 2 episodes, we also record. So if you're listening, you can also watch on YouTube if that's what you prefer. So we go through the footage. We look at the reels that we create, the short clips. And I just cannot handle my hair. So postpartum, you lose a bunch of hair, right? And then your hair starts growing back. So I'm 8 months postpartum. So I'm just now dealing with this. It's been like a month or 2, and I just have all these baby hairs, and they're just like so not cute. And I'm talking, I'm so passionate, and then there's just like these hairs. So I'm very sorry. I just had to address it. I'm not trying to be ugly on purpose, you guys. It's just postpartum. Thank you.
Cute. Can I share something that I've been passionate about that I've been thinking a lot?
Sure, babe.
I mean, you're not like I talk about this kind of stuff with you a lot.
Yeah.
And it's definitely more like the personal development side of things. But like because this is also my podcast, I want to talk about things that I'm interested in too.
Okay, what are you?
Can I see your phone for a second?
Why?
Because it's this quote that I posted on my story today.
Oh, okay.
And
share your
really
inspirational quote, babe.
It's not just an inspirational quote. Why do you say it like that? It's like...
Well, you just said it was.
It's just a quote that I like. So I'm reading this book right now. Where is your Instagram? Holy...
Oh,
Lindsay, I don't know if you can see this, but like Lindsay's... which camera do I point this at? Lindsay's phone? Let me do it at your camera.
They're like themes for your phone.
See, Lindsay's phone is all... crazy like.
They probably can't hear you. You're not on the mic.
Oh, well, you describe it.
Okay, so my phone, it's themed, and you can do like really fun things with your apps to make it. So right now mine is a fall vibe. So all of my apps are like orange and purple, like for Halloween. Anyway, and so they're not the regular like Instagram app. They're like fun. So Orson can't find any of my apps. So I'm so sorry. It's in the social.
No, I looked in the social and there was no app in there that looked like Instagram.
No. It just says Instagram.
Anyways, let me share this quote. So I'm reading this book called The Mountain Is You right now. And the quote is, "The truth is you don't change your life when you fixed every piece of your life wait, sorry. Okay. Let me start over. The truth is you do not change your life when you've fixed every piece of your life." What? The truth is you do not change your life.
Do you want me to read it?
When you fixed every piece of your life and call that healing. You change your life when you start showing up exactly as you are. You change your life when you become comfortable being happy here, even when you want to go forward. You change your life when you can love yourself even though you don't look exactly the way you want to. You change your life when you are when you are principled about money, love, and relationships, when you treat strangers as well as you do your CEO, and when you manage $1,000 the same as you would $10,000. You change your life when you start the truly scary thing, which is showing up exactly as you are. And the author's name is Brianna Weist. Anyways, I wanted to just, because I feel like this podcast, for me and us especially, is in alignment with that quote, because this, for me, feels like us stepping out into who our natural selves are. Like we're getting a little bit out of our comfort zone, going to be sharing things eventually, I'm sure, that we would normally kind of not really share or talk about, and putting opinions out there can be kind of nerve-wracking. And I'm just really proud of us for stepping into that, and that's making me feel like our lives are going to be changing over the next 12 months drastically, because we're stepping into that new life by the actions that we're taking. And I think it's something super special. And I just want to reiterate the fact of how grateful I am for the people that are choosing to listen in these beginning episodes.
I know,
because
so nice.
It really does mean a lot. I mean, I think we would do this anyways, even if people wouldn't listen. And I think that's also really beautiful. But the fact that people choose to follow us on social media and just to follow the podcast, like, I think that's really cool. And that quote from me from the book kind of sums up kind of what is all happening here. Like we're trying to change our life. We're trying to make more money and get into better positions. And I think this is one of those steps that we're taking that ultimately, over a long enough horizon, is really going to make a lot of a difference.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to share.
That's awesome. Love that, babe.
Now that I'm done saying what I wanted to, so thank you for letting me do that. Mm-hmm. What in your mind did we actually want to talk about today?
So, we didn't really know what we were gonna talk about
all
today.
Week, every single day. I think we both were like, so what are we gonna talk about on the podcast?
I know, because I would like to have something in mind, but we knew that The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was coming out today, and I'm sure me binging it all day, I watched every single episode all in one day, we could pick something to talk about within that show, because me and Orson, we are members of the church, and like I've said in these past 2 episodes, that there's just a lot of build up, a lot of people talking about it, getting upset about the show because it doesn't reflect actual LDS members, allegedly. But yeah, the show was really good. I really liked it. Orson, he's been so busy all day. He did not have time to sit through, 6 hours or something of TV today like I did. But I told him kind of like what are the topics that kind of come up. And what surprised me is, okay, I really thought, you guys, that they were going to come on and they were going to say, yeah, I was baptized, I was Mormon, but I'm not anymore. I really thought they were all going to just be like, not really Mormons. But no, they definitely are.
Is there something?
Yeah.
I tried to watch some of it as I was watching dinner.
Yeah.
Is she waking up?
As you were watching dinner?
As I was eating dinner. Is she waking up?
She's not waking up. She's just moving around. So I'll let you know. You actually need to get up.
Okay. Well, anyways, so I was eating my dinner and I was trying to watch it because I knew Lindsay wanted to at least talk about this a little bit. And so I wanted to educate myself as much as I possibly could in like the 30 minutes that I had to watch 6 hours worth of TV. And they didn't really talk. The only mention of the church that I feel like was mentioned in the little bit that I saw was just like the opening scene where they have the drone shot and they're all standing in front of the Provo temple. Mm-hmm. And then them just mentioning how some of the things that they grew up is with, like some of the teachings and different things like that, they don't necessarily align with their beliefs as adults now. Mm-hmm. They didn't really say anything about the church necessarily. It really to me just seemed more of a show that's just drama.
Yeah.
And
it's like
they use the
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but they're all Mormon.
and but they just use the Mormon swingers as just a tagline to get people to watch it.
Yep.
Because no one's going to watch it otherwise. But the fact that they're Mormon and they're swinging and doing all these crazy things, then that obviously brought on a lot more attention, which worked. I mean, that definitely worked. But the little bit that I watched, I was like, this just seems like a bunch of people that are just having drama in their life on social media, and that's really about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, you watched 30 minutes of it. They did touch on certain topics that are taboo, that aren't talked about. They kind of, I think they use the word like we're modern Mormons, which I think they were kind of meaning, yes, we still believe in it, but there are some things that we want to kind of change in this next generation, which I can get, kind of like the husband and wife dynamic, how it's more traditional that the husband makes the money, that the husband is kind of the leader of the household. And I definitely think that is changing with our generation for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's what they kind of were talking about. That they were talking about sex toys, vibrators, because one of the wives wanted to do a brand deal for a vibrator, and some people were saying like, yes, do it, get your bag, and some of the wives were like, I wouldn't post that on my Instagram. So it just depends. I kind of really liked how they were all friends, but they were all in different phases of their religion. Like there was one or two who were really devout, they wore their garments, they didn't drink, or they follow the rules, they are very active. But then there are others that maybe just go to church on Sundays and everything else is kind of out the window. They kind of do what they want, which is totally fine. But I just liked that they all still hung out. They didn't seem to judge each other too much. There was a little bit of an instance in the show that came off a little bit judgmental, and I don't think you saw this, or I even talked to you about this. So one of the wives was having a baby blessing for their baby, and they uninvited the ones that were not as active, because I don't know why. And that was kind of a little bit like, that's interesting, but I mean,
typically when baby blessings happen within our church, for those of you that are not members listening, I mean, it's normally a pretty spiritual thing, and you want people there that are in alignment with that sort of belief to really kind of fill the room with the right kind of spirit or energy that you want. And so, and even though that they could be friends, maybe they were thinking, well, hey, I know they do a lot of these things outside of the church, and they're not living up to the standards that I would want my child to live up to. And they feel like maybe they didn't want that sort of energy.
No, you would not do that. Think of it as yourself.
No, I'm trying to put myself in their shoes as far as what they could have.
Okay, well, do you think that's right?
Would I do that? Would I uninvite somebody just because they're choosing to live a different type of lifestyle? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't uninvite. I mean, anyone's welcome to the sacrament meetings. I wouldn't uninvite them.
They did it at their house. It was at their house.
So was it just like family and friends, or just close family, not even friends?
No, friends were there that were Mormon enough, quote unquote. That's how they made it seem. So so it's a mom talk, or the wives. So some of the mom talk wives were there and some weren't. Some were uninvited.
So, I mean, if I were to put myself in that situation, we're doing a baby blessing at home. You had this group of friends.
Yeah.
Crazy
friends.
This group of friends that were crazy, and this is so in my head, I'm thinking,
should not be this hard.
No, but the way that I'm thinking about it, if we're in that situation and you're a part of that friend group,
yeah,
and I don't like whatever, you can have fun with your girls and do what you want, but like we're devoted, and we're devoted to each other, and we're committed to each other.
Yeah.
But there's these group of people that I know aren't very good influences. I can see how you wouldn't want them to be at this really big moment, but at the same time, if they're involved in your life so much, I can also see why it would be weird not to have them there.
The excuse that she did use was, oh, Zach, which was her husband. Zach doesn't really know you guys, and this is a family, like this is both of us. He doesn't really know you, so that's why we're uninviting you, is because
So
you're
were
just
uninvited? So they were
Yes,
invited? And
they were invited.
That's even worse.
I know. Because
Like,
the girl, the wife, her name was Jen, she was saying, they showed, like, they had footage of her saying, like, oh, yeah, our baby blessing is this date, this time. You guys are invited. And they were like, oh, yeah, awesome. And they uninvited.
Yeah, I mean, if people
like
were
a couple
already,
days before.
if they were already invited, I wouldn't be uninviting them, because it's like the more people that come, they're just there to show their love and support for this baby.
That's what it is. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. You should invite them.
I mean, if they come,
if they are your, of course, don't just invite anybody to your baby blessing if that's not what you want to do. I mean, you totally can if you want, but normally it's just like really close friends and family.
But I mean, if they're so crazy to the point to where they would show up to a baby blessing, I mean, I know they wouldn't do this, or I'm just assuming they wouldn't. But if they were the type of people to show up and be crazy and stuff at a baby blessing, then it's like, I can see why you wouldn't want those types of people there. But because they grew up in the religion and understand the importance behind it, you know that they're going to be respectful. And so, yeah. If I was in that, now that I kind of understand how the whole situation was.
Because I was like, Orson, what the frick are you talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking a little bit more dramatic than I think.
You were, yes.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I don't think it would have been that big of a... Like, uninviting somebody like that? Like, in my opinion... Well, here's a big part of this, though. Mm-hmm. Like, we're sitting here judging people's other lives from behind a TV screen.
Yeah.
So we really don't know the entire story. Like, I don't even really like talking about this type of stuff and judging them, and because it's like
we're not judging necessarily.
We're just talking about the scenarios.
Yeah, we're just talking about what we would do or if we felt that it was right. So I guess, is that judging? I don't know. But you're watching a TV show and you have your own thoughts. So
yeah, I just don't want to place judgment on them because it's not our place to judge, or I don't want to make it sound like we're doing that at all, because we don't know the full situation. There could be a lot of things that they didn't even show in the show that we don't understand, and the bottom line with all of this is just like, they're humans just like the rest of us, and we're all trying our best with the information that we do have. Mm-hmm. And if people want to live their lives differently, then let them, and love them anyways. And I feel like so many of us try to change someone's behavior because we think it's not good for them. And I feel like it'd be a lot more productive if we were just to love them anyways and be there and be supportive. I mean, if they're doing some behavior, we don't have to condone some behaviors, but we just love them anyways, unconditionally. And I feel like that's... with all this judgment that's surrounding the show, I feel like that's something that's missing. Yeah. And like, one thing in the church that we're taught to do is be Christ-like. Mm-hmm. And in my mind, Christ wouldn't be saying anything about these women. Yeah. He would love them anyways. He would try to show them a better way if there is one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there would be, because a lot of this seems like petty drama that's not necessary, that happens to like teenagers and they're adults. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a better way. Yeah. But I think he would be a good example for them and love them anyways. Yeah. And I think that's a big part that's missing.
Yeah, so that was one part of it. And the big meat and potatoes of the show, in my opinion, was it's so sad, because I just really feel bad for her. Her name is Jen on the show. She's the one who we were talking about, who is the most...
Oh, Stella's trying to peek in.
Who is the most LDS of the group. So they go to Vegas, and one of the girls plans a surprise situation to take them to a strip club. Now, obviously, she's very uncomfortable. She's never been there before. Anything like this, whatever. Her husband finds out, and he gets freaking pissed. He gets so upset. And then he was texting her so many mean things. He was on the phone saying that she's a bad mom for engaging in this type of behavior. He was just talking down to her so much to where she left because he was controlling her and her decisions and calling her mean names and calling her things. And she was saying on the phone, it was so sad. She was saying, well, you know my character. Like, you know I'm not a bad person. You know I'm not a bad mom. But he keeps saying that she is because of her decision, which wasn't even her decision. It's just she was at a strip club. So it was hard to watch because it's hard because us girls and young women's, when we're 12 to 18, that's what it's called. It's young women's.
This was your experience.
Yes.
I mean, it could have changed. It might be different now. And
I'm sure it is.
But this was your
I hope
experience.
it is.
This is kind of what you went.
We're not necessarily taught you stay with your husband no matter what. We're not necessarily taught that, but it's kind of alluded. Like, you get married in a temple for time and all eternity. You make it work. You know what I mean? Like, this is... It's not just you're married to this person. It's you are sealed to them. So it's kind of like if you're getting a divorce, it should be for a really good reason, you know? So...
I mean, getting a divorce, it should always be really good to you. I mean, the bottom line is marriage takes work, whether you're a part of this religion or not.
Right.
But I think just to kind of make it a little bit more sense, is as far as what you're saying is because the way that we look at marriage is we get sealed in the temple that lasts for all time and all eternity, that it makes it even more of a big deal because it's like you're stuck with this person like even after you die. And so if you don't make
Which is also just so funny because we get married when we're children.
Yeah, like our brains...
Not actually children. That was misinformation. We're 18 and above, but that's still like if you get married at 18, you're like a child.
I mean, I forget what the stat is, but like our brains are not fully developed until like we're 29.
It's 25.
It's 25?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like...
So they make it such a big deal, but then you make those decisions when you're so young. It's a little bit of a mess, just a little bit. But anyway, what I was saying is basically what her friends were trying to tell her was you deserve better. You shouldn't be treated like this. The words he was telling you, he was threatening to divorce her on the show. I mean, again, it could just be drama for the show, but it seems like it was real.
Didn't you see some screenshots of the text? Like, were those real screenshots from her phone?
Yeah. So he was really talking down to her and saying that she is this horrible person for engaging in that kind of situation, a strip club, with her girlfriends. Where was I going with this?
Just you're talking about your experience in Young Women's.
Oh, right. So her friends, keep telling her you don't deserve this. You deserve better. And she just kind of felt defeated, but it seemed like she felt like she needed to obviously just work it out and stay. But her friends were calling him a narcissist, and I guess narcissists, it's like a 0% chance of them ever changing at all. They're always going to be who they are. That's just like a fact. And so they were kind of saying, you're feeling this way now. You're still young. Get out when you can because you deserve better, you know? Which, of course, easier said than done to just like leave your husband. Hello. But I was just watching and I was like, wow, this is really sad because when you're in a toxic relationship, I've never been in a relationship other than Orson. Orson was my first boyfriend. I did date a lot of people, so I
But not seriously.
no, so I like knew what I liked and was looking for.
Don't want my sip?
No. I knew what I liked and what I was looking for in a partner. And so Orson was my first serious boyfriend, and then we ended up getting married. But anyway, so I've never been in a toxic relationship, but I've obviously known lots of people who have, and you can't really talk them out of it, you know? Like when you're in it, you just have rose-colored glasses, you just make excuses for them, and it's just really sad when you're married to that person.
Have you been in a toxic relationship?
No.
So I think it's also important to point out that you've never experienced that.
No.
And so you're just kind of, what's your point of view as far as like
A toxic relationship?
Like, where does your point of view for a toxic relationship come from? Because you've never been in one and experienced it. And I'm sure if someone's actually been a part of one and experienced it, they might have the same opinion, but like, where does that
Well, I
come
just
from for you?
mean that's just what they say is when you're in one.
So that's what you've heard from
Yes,
other people.
that's what I've
that
heard
have been
from
in.
other people. Yes. And it just makes it even harder when you're married and you have 2 kids and you're only 24 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like this couple on the show. And I just don't know if it's normal because a lot of these women seem like they have shizzy husbands and they always make them cry, and there's always so many fights, and I'm just like, is this normal behavior? I hope not with your marriages, because me and Orson, we obviously have our fights every once in a while, but I don't think you've ever made me cry because of you were so mean to me, you
I
know?
could probably count on one hand the times that I've made you cry.
But not because I don't think you've ever made me cry. Like, Orson is being so mean to me, I'm crying right now. I think I've just
I'm
been crying because of a crappy situation we were in together.
Well, but I think in my head I'm feeling like there might have been at least a time where I was just being a dick, and
I can't think of ones, and I think I would remember that, so...
Well, I say that because I feel like there would have been... In my head, I can almost remember doing that and me feeling so bad about myself for doing that to you that I think I came and apologized about it, and I tried to really make up for it. I feel like it's happened at least.
When?
I really don't know, but
okay.
I feel like...
If it's happened once
I keep
in
saying
5
I feel like...
years... All right.
Anyways, I think it's
so.
I think it like I said, it's really not hardly at all.
Yeah.
If it's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're telling me this story and kind of talking me through the situation and you showed it to me, go ahead, what you're gonna say.
Well, you finish your thought, because I was gonna kind of go off.
You're gonna go off this topic?
No, but I was gonna say how you had I wasn't your first girlfriend, and you had a toxic relationship, and you stayed in it. You were in high school, but I mean, you were still smart enough to where you knew I'm not being treated right. Mm-hmm. Am I correct?
Yeah. And I think this show, that's what it really reminds me of, is high school, because it just reminds me of my high school experience and the drama and the way that relationships were in high school, as far as the fighting back and forth. But like,
except these women are married.
Like, we just want to get in bed with each other, and then it's fun and make up that way. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of reminds me of my own high school experience and the parties and stuff like that. I mean, I wasn't like super duper crazy, but I mean, I did my fair share of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't need to get into all that now, but that's why I feel like this show just kind of reminds me and puts me back into that high school frame of mind, as far as the way that they're acting with their husbands and the fights. And
so you stayed with your toxic girlfriend because she was a cutie?
It wasn't. I mean, it was the frame of mind. This is so gross.
Oh my gosh, what are you about to say?
It's just so immature and so dumb. But like in high school, I was really concerned about like getting with girls and trying to be cool in that way.
Yeah.
Because yeah, so I was trying to be cool in that way. I was trying to fit into a group that deep down I didn't really belong in. And so I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And so I was trying to come off like I could get girls and all these other things. And
well, normally if you have that frame of mind of I can get girls, you don't have a girlfriend, you know?
Right, but
So...
but this girlfriend, I thought she would do things with me that no one else was willing to do at the time. I couldn't find other stuff.
You couldn't find anybody?
So like my high school, it was a graduating class of 80 people. So it was a really small dating pool. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't a whole. I mean, anyways, I mean, there's other bigger high schools, but I was also kind of shy. And anyways, it was long story short. That's part of the reason at that time why I stayed is because she was doing things with me that no one else was wanting to do, but I was too scared to try to find someone else that.
So that was your reason. That was
definitely a part of it. And
is there any other parts?
I mean, so well, just so you guys understand the toxicity side of it, like she cheated on me probably 3 times.
Oh. So sad.
And there was I'm as I talk about these things, I'm thinking about her, and I want the best for her. I don't really care about any of this stuff. Like this, I'm grateful for these experiences.
Yeah, she's not a bad person. She was just in high school.
Yeah, it was just high school experiences. I really do not give a shit whatsoever.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So that happened.
You're just describing your only toxic relationship.
And like the other story and the other story that I tell that people are like, "What? That happened?" is where I got her some like the basic Valentine's Day gifts, and she didn't like them, and she was like, "Go return these," or I don't remember exactly what happened, but I ended up returning the gifts and getting her something else. Like it was just.
And also, Valentine's Day is Orson's birthday.
I do remember.
So this all happened also on your birthday.
Yeah.
She made you return her the gifts that you gave her. So mean.
Yeah. Anyways, like I said.
So when you're in a toxic relationship, you don't just leave. Like I think every single person in my life, I'm sure, has had a toxic relationship.
I do want to make something clear that. Like, it takes two. It's 2 people to tango. So I'm sure, I know I played a role in the toxicity just like she did.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I don't want to put all the blame on her because I definitely need to take a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it falls on my head for allowing that kind of stuff to happen and staying in it.
It's true.
And, I mean, I was condoning, like, she wasn't a bad person at all.
Yeah.
But I was definitely the one that it was a lot of my fault too. It was at least 50-50.
Okay.
I don't want to make it seem like it was all her fault or all my fault. Like,
yeah.
I want to take some responsibility.
Yeah.
But as far as kind of tying it back to the show that you're talking about, well, you were talking about, do you remember what your thought was? Do you want to say it?
Well, I was just saying how it's just unfortunate that people get married very young in Utah and realize until years down the road that they're being treated like crap and they feel like they're stuck forever. You know what I mean? But I think that is changing our generation because I think the divorce rate is still 50-50 in the Mormon community, which I don't think it used to be, because divorces, it's always been a high percentage, to marriages. So I think it's 50-50, still like half of them last, half of them don't. But I feel like when I was younger in the church, there was no way it was 50-50. There's no way. Because I feel like just now people are getting divorced in our community, in our lives. Whether that's if they're our age, because people our age, I think at least five couples who are divorced and are our age, and they got married in temple and everything. And I know a couple more who are my parents' age, like in Gen X, who are just now realizing, oh, I'm not happy and I haven't been for 15 years. Oh, I can leave. Okay. So now they are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sad how some people are, it's just so embedded in them that they can't really get themselves out of it, which is really sad.
So to go along with what you're saying and to kind of tie it back around to the show and the situation that we were talking about with this one couple, that he was saying these bad things and stuff like that, and then we'll wrap it up because I feel like we've been talking for a while. But the thing that I notice is with this kind of stuff is there's a lot of factors that we don't understand. And like I said, I just want to make it really clear that these are just, we're basing everything off of our own opinions as far as how we would handle the situation and what we would want to see come out of it. But when I see, like, it makes me really sad to see that kind of behavior when you're married to somebody and you behave like that way towards them. Simply because it's like, for me and my relationship with you is like, I've said this on the last episode too, is like, you're the most important thing in my life. And if that's true, then my actions need to match that belief.
Yeah.
And if I'm calling you retarded or calling you a bad mother or doing anything like that, and again, I'm sure there's a lot of things that we don't understand about the relationship. And
we're just basing off what we see.
Yeah, I'm not trying to place judgment or anything like that. But like, this is just for me personally. I want my actions to match my beliefs, and if you are the most important thing to me, then I'm going to make sure I treat you like that. And like, it's not,
you treat me really well.
Well, I mean, I'm still like, I still have my flaws, and I'm trying to. We always are trying to do better.
I know, but you know, I do recognize that I have the best husband in the world.
Okay, you don't need to go that far, but when I see stuff like that, I'm just like, dude, hold yourself to a higher standard.
On the men's side,
like you deserve, like, treat. Something that I think my elementary school had this plastered in these big, colorful letters as right when you walk into the building. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And that phrase has stuck with me ever since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And that's a phrase that I honestly try to live by. Yeah. Is like, treat other, and would you want someone else to come at you calling you retarded? I don't know if you used the word retarded.
You did.
Or would you, but would you want someone treating you like that? Like if she's really your wife, do you really want to make her cry? Is she really that important to you? If you're willing to call her a bad mother and to talk down on her and say, I'm going to divorce you and all these other things and all that and stuff. And I don't even care what other situations there were in the dynamic of the relationship. You shouldn't be treating anybody like that.
Yeah.
Anybody. And like that quote that I just said and earlier in the episode is like, when you can treat others like you would your CEO, no matter who they are, then that's I mean, maybe a CEO isn't the best example, but I mean,
your mom, your dad,
but like
close family member.
Right. I mean, nobody ever deserves to be called or treated that way. And I feel like if you're in a relationship where people are saying that about you, you deserve better. And I think everybody deserves somebody like me for you, for example. And this
what do you mean?
I feel like everybody deserves your me, as far as you're saying, I have the best husband in the world.
Oh, like everyone should go to bed at night thinking that they have a really awesome partner. Like if you're going to sleep at night and you just cried yourself to sleep because you hate your husband. like that's what you mean? Yeah,
I think everyone deserves somebody that is going to love them unconditionally and try to be... And
you know that they do, right?
And they're going to try to be their best version of themselves so they can show up better for you. And... Is she awake?
No, we're good.
And I mean, again, I want to make something clear that there's a lot of things about relationships that I don't fully understand. I mean, we've only been married 5 years, and we're learning and we're growing, and we have a lot to learn. But
We
I
do.
know one thing's for sure is like I'm gonna treat you the way that I would want to be treated, and I look at you like I keep saying the most important thing, and I need to treat you like that.
And it also goes both ways. Like some wives can be nasty to their husbands and talk down on them just as much, you know?
Hmm.
So I think that you know if you're in a toxic situation. Like people around you, even if you don't see it, the people who you love around you will let you know. What I also really enjoyed in the episode is all of her friends were like, you do not deserve to be treated like that. That was really wrong of him. Kind of telling her that was not cool and you deserve better. And I think that people around you, if they love you and they clearly see that the situation is horrible, they should let you know. Because if I was in a toxic relationship and you were calling me names and making me cry and I was telling my family and they were just like, oh, dang, that stinks. I'm sorry, Lindsay. It'll get better. No, they should be telling you, hey, that's not right.
Okay, here's the thing that I was thinking about that is if you're yes, that's a good point. But you also got to remember who is giving you the information, and
True.
like what kind of life do you, yeah, you got to know what you want for yourself and what kind of life you're trying to create. And then if those people are trying to tell you otherwise, that have created a life not even close to what you're wanting to create, you just got to be, you got to watch out for who's giving you the information.
That is true, giving you the advice.
Yeah, because you don't want to take advice from someone that has
Well,
5 failed marriages. And
yeah, that's true. Very true.
I don't know. That's
I
just
see
kind
that.
of. And, but
But,
if you're
I
trying
mean,
to stick in a relationship for a long period of time, then
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Obviously. But I feel like, I don't
And,
know.
and in that situation, like that, if I were, what was her name?
Jen?
Jen. And based off of what the little bit I saw, like she seemed like the type of person that wants to be involved in the church and
Yeah.
wants to stick to the rules and live that kind of lifestyle. And she's hanging around these girls that appreciate the church. It seems like the majority of them do, but they all don't.
It shouldn't matter.
I mean, it shouldn't. I agree, it shouldn't matter. But if they don't want that kind of life, then that's fine. But if Jen is wanting,
Meaning don't take the advice from
but if Jen,
those girls.
but if she's wanting a life that is really involved in the church, where she keeps all of her covenants and different things like that, then I would be more leaning towards people that getting advice from people that are doing that kind of stuff. If that's the kind of life I want to create.
Disagree.
Oh, okay.
Because possibly someone who is quote unquote in the church follows the rules could possibly tell her, wow, that's really sucky that he said that, but you have kids to think about, which is not good advice. You know what I mean?
I
So
see where you're coming from.
it just depends on really who you want to listen to or don't want to listen to when it comes down to it. But I see what you're saying too. But I also see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How I think of it is like, okay, so I have a daughter, Scarlett, and if I was married to someone, like let's say you change completely and you're a horrible person, and if I stayed with you, what is that showing her? What is that showing Scarlett? That's showing Scarlett that I don't have a voice. It's okay to allow someone to treat me like this. You have to think of your kids in that way too. Like people say, okay, stay in your marriage for your kids, but what if you're showing your kids either complete lies, faking that you love each other when you don't, or you're showing them that you aren't in a loving marriage, which is also not very smart. So I want to make sure that I'm married to someone who I would want Scarlett to kind of marry.
Emulate?
Emulate. So I'm very happy that I'm in a loving relationship to a really good man, and let's say, knock on wood, that one day we just part ways, you're always going to be a good man, and I'm always going to be grateful that I married a good man and not a toxic, narcissistic man, because I would be thinking, what would I, how do I word this? What would I do if Scarlett was in the exact same relationship, marriage that I'm in? Would I be happy with that? And if your answer is no, then maybe you got to rethink your marriage. That was intense. But I'm saying, no, I really am saying, if you, I'm going to just say it again, if you're in a marriage where you wouldn't want your daughter to be in that same marriage, maybe you should either work on things or reevaluate your life.
Get in, what is it?
I don't know.
Whatever word I'm looking for.
Stern?
Yeah.
Bossy?
Sure. I think to really sum up what you said is just, you want to show your kids how to live, not tell them.
Right.
And
well,
you
just
want to be that
toxic,
example.
just in toxic relationships in general.
Well, not just in toxic relationships, but in every aspect of life. That's something that I've always told you, is I want to show our kids how to live and not tell them.
Yeah.
And that goes for every single aspect of life.
Yeah.
But anyways.
How do we end this on a positive note? I feel like this was so like...
I mean, I don't know. I don't... This is just all our own opinions. Like, I'm not trying to cast any judgment on the people of the show.
I know how to end this. Good. We can say something that we are grateful about each other because we married each other and we know we're not toxic people.
Okay.
Let me see how to start it. So, like I said, I'm grateful that I married a really good man, non-toxic vibes, and I really like that I can see that and feel that from you, that you love me, you care about me, you lift me up. And I think that's the most important thing that makes me feel safe around Orson, is that he lifts me up, he supports me in anything I do. Like, if I wanted to go to the strip club, Orson would not care. He would support me.
Oh my goodness. Man, you just opened up all of the can of worms that we don't have time to get into.
Like, I'm not going to the strip club, but if I were...
I have my own opinions about all of that and how I would approach it. I'm just not like some crazy guy that will just, you go do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you are.
I want you to have your own experiences, but I also want you to come back and talk with me about those experiences.
Oh, yes, we have a trusting relationship, which is amazing.
Anyways, we don't need to get into that right now.
Yeah, but like I was saying, you support me, you lift me up, you make me feel good, and that's...
You raise me up.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And that's how I know that I married a good person, and that makes me feel amazing that I'm married to you.
Now, when I think about the thing that I'm grateful for with you, is it's just, you're not afraid to be who you are. And that's something that I've always noticed from the very beginning, is you're always you. And I think there's something really special to say about that, because in a world where so many of us are trying to be something we're not, being yourself is really refreshing. And I think that's one thing that has always drawn me to you. And as we go through this journey, you just keep opening up even more into your true self. And I think that's really special. And that's something that I love about you.
And how do I make you feel? Like you were saying about good things about me, but because I was telling you how you make me feel, and in a marriage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you make me feel supported and loved, and you make me feel like I can do anything.
That's awesome. I'm glad I make you feel that way.
Because I've always been ambitious, but when we got married, it took it to another level. Mm-hmm. And now that we have Scarlett, that took it to another level.
Yep.
And everything, that all my ambition and stuff is, it's selfishly for me, but I also want to create a better life for you. And that's where the majority of that drive comes from. And so it's like, I try to work so hard because it makes me happy, yes, but the majority is because of you, and I want to make you happy and give you the life of your dreams. And so it's like, all of this is because of you in my head. So
Aw, thanks, babe.
you're welcome. Well, you guys, that is going to do it for episode number 3. We, like always, we appreciate every single one of you guys for watching and supporting this journey that we're on. And
Yes.
you guys are all amazing. So
Thank you so much.
thank you.
1, 2, 3. Bye.